Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond the News. We are breaking news this evening with the lovely and talented Janine. You can find her work, as always, at tarotbyjanine.com and also here on the Academy. Janine, welcome back. How are you?
Hi, Jean-Claude. Hi, everybody. I'm doing good.
It's been a busy day, Janine. How are you feeling energy-wise?
Good.
Yeah?
Yep.
You're pretty short that. Good. Okay, good.
Yep, pretty good. I
Good to
caught
know.
up today.
Caught up? All right.
Yeah, I had a day where I didn't sleep a wink the night before, but last night I had some sleep, so now I'm feeling good.
Okay, very good. Well, guys, if you haven't checked out the Beyond Ravens quick draw Thursday, it's available now, of course, here on YouTube and on Rumble. And Janine and I also did an amazing viewer question show this afternoon. If you haven't seen that, that's on pay-per-view. Had a lot of fun there. Always great questions from the audience members. So really, really cool. A lot of people in the live chat tonight asking about finally justice for the 2020 election. We'll get into all of that a little bit later in the show. Don't you worry. We've got you covered. Thank you, first of all, everyone, for joining us live tonight. We're triple casting right now on X Rumble and on YouTube. Please let us know, of course, where you're watching from this evening. I'm curious to see the reach of this episode here tonight. And as always, please do comment during the show. And also, if you have questions, if we have time, we'll try to bring them up and answer them as we go this evening. Bonsoir, Monsieur Yves Langlois. Hope that everything is going well with you there as well. Two announcements. So we're going to give away some prizes tonight, Janine, before we start the show, just so people know what to expect here and to pay attention to all the keywords, the names, the dates we are going to be talking about this evening during the show. We're going to be giving away, I believe, some Shungai pendants. Yes, the astrology Shungai pendants from Carla at ascensionorganites.com. You don't want to miss that there. Go check it out on her website. And currently also the Timeless Love jewelry sale is on now, 25% off here of the pendants, bracelets, and all silvery jewelry at ascensionorganites.com. You don't want to miss that. A lot of great deals to be had there. And of course, with the new prices of silver, these are very, very interesting for you guys as well. So check that out, 25% off there across the board. And last but not least, also, we're going to be giving away a pair of these beautiful, amazing new candles here from Aline at floralinfarm.ca. So pay attention, guys, and let's get into it. Janine, this week, you and I have been, I guess, deciphering some weird energies in the background. You and I are picking up on it and wondering what the hell's going on. And it seems that everything is escalating, and it seems very frantic in the background. I think it was last night during the show also that you and I were picking up on something that was non-local to us. It wasn't you, it was me. But something's in the field that is perhaps we're picking up on. Maybe a week or two away, I think is what you said in the cards. Can we do maybe a 7-card pull to start the show to see perhaps what that might be and how that might come about? I think the audience members would be interesting to know here what is just around the corner. And let me know in the live chat if you're feeling a little antsy also. Like not in a negative way, but just like jittery or antsy. Something is just around the corner. Let me know how you guys are feeling it or perceiving it in the live chat.
Oh, look at these first two cards.
Yeah.
Okay, it seems like a new money system right here. Like according to this, it's already been created.
Right.
And according to this, we should see it really soon. This is past, present.
Okay.
And the other way you could read that is a really big spike in gold, or maybe we're just talking metals. I mean, we're definitely seeing some really interesting behavior with silver and gold.
For sure.
Yeah, and to the positive. So all around energies around a new system coming that's financial, that could be eventually good for us. I think at first it'll be a little interesting, but it'll turn out to be a good thing, of course. Okay, so here we've got the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands, that's a unique, watch places that are not here. Like I got the word Iran in my head as soon as I saw this card. Places far away, were maybe days away from a big situation in a place far away that's warlike. So you're probably going to hear some war rattles around what's going on in the Middle East.
Could be Iran, yeah. They seem to be. I think we had yesterday the news that one of those aircraft carriers just went silent, or maybe it was a submarine, but at any rate, indicating that they might be very close to striking. Who knows? Keep going, Jenny.
Yeah. And then a lot of, so the fallout, so that's kind of how does it all fall out by the end of, you're looking at a week. The fallout feels like it's a lot of political, like a lot of political from all over the world. So politicians from all over the world weighing in, and a lot of countries weighing in on something that's happening in the Middle East.
Okay.
But this card here is the hidden influence, which is the 8. So it feels like it's all sort of coming from pressure on the financial system and a potential drop of a new one. And like they seem to know about that, they, whoever they are,
Right.
okay, the people that end up in all of these discussions. So political groups in all these discussions. And this card here says maybe it takes more than a week's time. Maybe it's more like going into 2 weeks. Did you ask me to look at a week or 2 weeks?
Yeah, I said that you and I yesterday were thinking it's a week or two. It's close, like a week or 2 weeks. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'd say it was on the long end of it, not the short, with that card there. So, and in the meantime, watch for tensions in the Middle East that look warlike, or like they might even say, there's a war, or we're pending a war, but right at the last minute, it gets held up again. It's been happening a lot. But really, it's stemming from the death of something and the a big inevitable change of guard here. I feel like that's to do with the financial system.
Huh. Wow. Okay. Advice on how to deal with it, maybe?
Okay, I think we better reshuffle. We got some big heavy hitters here.
Too much, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a reshuffle.
Okay.
Like what's the best advice on how to navigate the next 2 weeks? Because we're getting a lot of weird reports about the war. That's concerning for sure. We're getting a lot of news that perhaps on the justice side, we're going to see some stuff happening. This could push the bad guys into a corner and maybe accelerate their plans, also riots in the streets, stuff like that. If there is some type of perturbation in the financial system, also could bring people to the streets. So generally speaking, how do we navigate all of this?
That card takes a wait and see and wait to become enlightened. So feel out, don't take action on things you're hearing right away. Sit with it for a few days, especially if you hear that a war is pending. I feel like there's going to be a lot of fears around war or something happening that's really aggressive. Like, to me, it feels warlike, and it involves other countries. So we must be talking about war. Yeah, be patient and wait and sit on information and let it pan out. Yeah, you're going to hear things, and then all of a sudden they disappear right out of the news, which that has been happening in the last few years. Like, it'll get to a crescendo and then disappear. So try to like be cool, calm, and collected here. This guy's really cool, calm, and collected. He's just watching and learning, and more like he's very observant and turns things upside down. So that's everybody in this audience would be like, if you've been on this truther train, you're going to be like that anyway. Like, I look at all the stuff going on in social media and I feel and filter it through how things have turned out before, who's saying what are they probably getting at, what comms are really behind it. Like, this guy does all of that. He turns everything upside down and looks at it from different perspectives.
Right.
Okay. So and this guy's really patient and takes his time with everything, especially really scary news. Okay. And then I feel like, don't forget to take time to celebrate what you know for sure and focus on your personal life and celebrations, and not just what the news is saying. It feels like the biggest theater is all going to be in even social media and media. Your own life should take precedent, at least some of the time, where you just step away and celebrate in your own life.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat is saying, buy silver, get cash out of the banks. You and I don't give financial advice, but is there some moves maybe that people need to take also here with respect to maybe some dislocations in the financial markets and them having to do things that they don't normally do? Can we ask a question like that? Is there
I
a safe?
think I
Go ahead.
think we got a few weeks before that happens.
Okay.
Like this card does say, though, be ready in case, because that card's like, be watchful. That card could change at any moment. Just all of a sudden, the swords are really fast. They can go as fast as a thought or an information. They can
Right.
be like information. So be watching and ready with your personal wealth, whatever that is to you, whatever that is. Be watchful and ready with your personal wealth.
Well, that means that you're paying attention very closely and
Yeah.
you're nimble and you're able to make moves if you need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely be ready. Yep. This guy's ready to
Yeah.
move.
Okay.
As soon as he knows it's time to move, he goes.
Okay. Okay.
And use your instincts and intuition on it.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Comment in the chat. I don't know how to pronounce the name. They're saying they've been watching Shannon's healing sessions and participating. So needed right now. Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. If you haven't seen Shannon's new show, Beyond Healing, here on Beyond Mystic, check it out. It's every Tuesday night now at 7 o'clock. She's building the conversation about conscious healing, empowering you, the viewer, to understand what that means and to understand the power you have to heal your own body. And she's also doing these live healing sessions here during these shows. Phenomenal show. The comments are absolutely through the roof positive. And as the commenter is saying, yes, very needed right now. We've been passed through the ringer for so many years. Janine, you want to chime in?
Yeah, that's Van Chick 1. So Van Chick 01,
okay.
As in Vancouver Chick.
Okay, that makes sense. It took me a while. Sometimes they're hard to read, especially when I'm live, or maybe I'm just dyslexic, or it's the French line coming out.
Well, you're not from Vancouver.
That's true too. Yeah. SoCal. Oh yeah, I remember a lot of people had SoCal. So I eventually was like, what does that mean? Oh, Southern California. Okay, if you're not from there, you don't necessarily know what that means. Okay, Van Chick 1. Yes, absolutely. I also had a healing session with Shannon last Sunday. Yeah, Sunday it was. Absolutely amazing too. I was very, very impressed with her. So anyways, guys, if you haven't seen the show, it's available on YouTube now and also on Rumble. And if you've seen the show also, let me a comment below here. Let me know how you feel about the show, and also maybe ask questions about where you want Shannon to go next with these healing sessions and how that can help you also moving forward in your own healing journey into becoming the CEO of your own health. That's the whole plan here. So please do go and check that out. Okay, so let me get to some of the weird, embarrassing news. Of course, I have to bring up Canada. This was just, it was just so funny. Mark Carty had this little speech the other day, and he said, Canada thrives because we are Canadian. And I had to think about that a little bit. And this poster had it right. And water is wet because it's water. Who wrote this shit? Kamala Harris? Remember how Kamala had these, what was before became after, and I don't know. It was so hilarious. I mean, the rhetoric coming out of this government.
Let's just say the script writers are having some fun with this guy.
Yeah. My God. This I don't think was scripted. I don't need to play the clip here, but essentially, the Conservatives are now calling on President Trump to sue Canadian broadcast network CTV after one of their political commentators, Kathleen Monk, went on air. This is with Vasi Capellos, who's the interviewer here, claiming that Trump is kidnapping and killing his own citizens instead of lowering prices. I mean, what? Like, if it was April Fool's and it's a joke, okay. No, we have to play the clip. Hold on, I can't let that go. Let me just change the slide decks very quickly here. We need the audio on this one. Could you imagine the rhetoric? And just, this is all of last week too. It seems like all of the mainstream media in Canada got the memo. The president, the prime minister here wants to go in a snap election, and he's giving the instructions now to pump up the rhetoric. Orange man bad. So we're seeing across the board, even in the financial markets, whatever's happening in gold and silver, it's because of orange man bad, right? So this, it seems like they've gone on overdrive, but this one, of course, is way across the line. Let's play the clip.
Americans are watching as President Trump chooses to kidnap and kill his own citizens as opposed to lowering prices. Canadians are watching that in horror and want our government to chart a new path and a new way forward.
We're going to come back to that, what's happening there, and the whole CNN story. Let's see if we can get to that one. This one here. Remember how this is the actual guy? This is how CNN made him up to be. They made him a little bit prettier, a little bit beefier, a little bit wider teeth, a little bit more color. And of course, this is the Netflix version coming soon. I thought that was absolutely crazy. And what's his face? Joe Rogan also commented on this. We're going to play this clip in just a moment. Remember how Joe Rogan, they had made him look bad when he was talking about ivermectin. He had the green filter on or gray filter. He looked like he was dying. Well, conversely, they're doing the exact opposite with this other guy here, the nurse. We're going to get into all that. But anyways, Canadian politics are absolutely wild right now. We're seeing the Conservative convention this evening and this weekend. And it looks like Pierre Poilievre is going to be a shoe-in to continue to being the leader of the Conservative Party. They're prepping up also. They're probably hearing the same rumors that we might have an election here this spring. Why don't you pull some cards on that? Do we have an election this spring? And if so, do we have a change of government? Does it go completely in a different direction? We're seeing all the rhetoric of separation now. Also, Alberta, Trump maybe having his delegates in Alberta, part of that conversation, part of that movement right now too, making the Prime Minister's office a little bit angry here also in Ottawa. What's going on with the election? Do we have one in spring? Yeah or nay?
So it'll look like we are, and then right at the last minute, stepping away here.
Do we step away from an election because we're involved with maybe amalgamating with the United States somehow? Like, does it go that way?
Well, we take a safe position, and it doesn't include an election.
Huh.
And it does look like a lot of strength from Alberta separating, which I got before.
Right.
I feel like they're saying they got upwards of 1 million signatures.
Yeah.
Or more. Like they're doing really good on the signatures.
You should have seen the last town hall. Like there's a huge
it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the communities they were in too, and they're all legit. Like those are legit. I've been in all the places they were showing.
Yeah.
Those are legit. Those are the real thing. So here we've got the 8, and I feel like a lot of world politics takes over, and we step away for safety reasons. We stay safe. It's not time to have an election.
Okay. And not having necessarily anything to do with the money system. That's not what you're saying there? Or could that also be part of it?
We might have bumped into some arrests here by then.
You're talking more to justice card here. Okay.
Yeah. Politics and justice.
Huh.
And maybe justice for politicians.
Yeah. Justice for politicians. Huh. Interesting. Bam Low says, another election already? Is that normal in Canada? Well, it's not normal. Typically, we're every 4 years. But when you're in a minority government, that's a year or two maximum sometimes under a minority government. Then they go
when
back.
They're screwing up as bad as they are.
Right, that too. But at the same time, the Liberals are screwing up, but they've got cover from mainstream news. And as far as they think, they could probably win a supermajority right now. That's why they want to go. At least those are the rumors on the Hill. So interesting. Okay, so on the topic of elections, let's go back stateside here. President Trump just posted that the FBI left with 700,000 or 700 2020 election ballot boxes, in Fulton County, Georgia. This is happening now in the aftermath also of the testimony of some of the previous workers of the Dominion voting machines, explaining that, yes, indeed, you can remotely gain access to those machines. That's been going on this week also in Maricopa County. a lot of people are asking here at the beginning of the show, are we, Janine, finally going to get some justice on the 2020 election? Remember that you and I lost channels on just asking questions about election integrity. You would think that that would be welcome in a democratic environment, but no. Are we getting close to that, Janine? Let's do a poll. Diane Alex 143. Yeah, finally justice for 2020. We get justice. Let's see. Hey, somebody's asking me what happened to JSNIP. I don't know. What happened to JSNIP? As far as I know, it's okay. I've been watching his videos. He's been posting regularly. Chat with him from time to time. Let me know what you mean by that. So the way the question was presented, justice on the 2020 election.
Yeah.
Now, for the viewers, Janine's pulled on this many times before, and a lot of this appears to have already been done in the background, but it's not yet announced to the public. So we'll add to the question, known to the public at large. Is that fair, Janine?
Yeah, and this does indicate something already happened in the past.
Okay.
Soft yes. And we're disappointed because they've been focused on other things. And it did disappoint a lot of people, including the mega crowd. And you can't really blame them for, because really the whole truther community was looking for that justice. And every version of it, because there's different, wings of the truther community. And then here we've got the emperor here. So they're on it though. And like you said, a lot of it's already been done, but they're all over it lately. But then they go a different direction, and it has to, something happens that looks a little disruptive, and it has to do with, so this is a free sovereign, or it shakes things up and makes it really obvious that we're really free from the deep state. I don't know what I mean by that. And then the Two of Wands, so some kind of safe position, or a positioning of safety, and we're seeing something happen, but it's far away, and it's really defining our personal sovereignty and independence, especially financially. So there's all of these things going on that take us again a little bit away from that. It's not imminent where it's tomorrow they're going to get just, even though it looks like that, it doesn't, it feels like they step away because there's a bunch of other concerns.
Yeah. I don't know if I need another some clarifiers or another poll. Let me ask the question or bring this up, and you can decide what you think is best, Janine. But it seems to me one thing to go back and look at the shenanigans of 2020 and bring justice to it. Let's say we do, and let's say we fix the voting machines that were tampered with. We're still not talking about all of these illegal immigrants who are here in the country voting illegally. We're still not talking about the states that don't require voter ID for the election. So sure, talking about 2020 is good, but I would also like to see action coming forward to make sure that we have true election results moving forward, and that we can actually certify them, and that illegals aren't actually voting in our system. So does one lead to the other, Janine, or is that what you mean where it's a little bit further down the line? Like, do you want to do clarifiers or a whole other poll?
I think the one leads to the other, and there's something that's going to sort of take our attention first. It'll be all hands on deck with some, well, I feel like a lot of governments could be hitting the deck, going down.
Okay. All right. And last clarifiers on that, if you still feel it's appropriate, the Brunson case, does that tie in here? Does that come back and make a loop around?
That they're saving, and they're not ready to use it yet. So we're still got some time for that one.
Okay. It's the elusive decision on the Brunson case. Or...
It's like they're just getting you all primed, and then they back off.
For all the people,
again, and
for all the people who were bitching at 107 when we interviewed him on this subject, and he says, no, it's like a loaded weapon. They're not going to use it. They're going to bring it out from time to time to scare them into place and then put it back in the holster. He did say that years ago.
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. So far, that's exactly what we've seen. And it looks like it appears to be exactly what we're going to continue to see. So anyway, he texted me. couple of weeks ago. I forget what it was about. We were talking about something. Oh, I was talking about the conference in Florida, and he said he might be interested in coming. So, anyways, I'll keep you guys posted. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Okay, coming up next. So let me bring up. We need the audio on this one as well. A regular on our show, Andy Sheckman, on the Beyond the Vault series, interviewed Catherine Austin Fitts this week on his channel, on the Miles Franklin Media YouTube channel. If you haven't seen that, please do go and check out the full episode. I want to play this one condensed clip. Now, before you tear us apart in the comments, please be aware that we're talking specifically about the Genius Act and the digital grid that is currently that is currently in place and continuing to grow. Okay, this is what we're talking about here in the deep weeds of what's inside the Genius Act and every pieces of the puzzle that have been put in place already in the last couple of years. In this case, in that particular case only, is where Catherine Austin Fitts was providing her opinion, which is in brackets here, in quotes on the chat, but I'm going to play the clip now for you. And then we're going to come back and see if we can decipher this a little bit more for the audience, because again, a lot of people in live chat are asking us to revisit this one and see what it was all about. Now, mind you, Janine and I did spend quite a bit of time on that today on the viewer question show here on pay-per-view, but I thought, again, seeing as I'm seeing the comments in the live chat, we're going to come back and revisit this for you guys as well. So let's play the clip first, and then we'll come back for commentary.
In my opinion, Trump was put into the White House to persuade conservatives to go along with a control grid. And what you need to understand is if you look at all the factions operating in Washington, there is nobody on our side. They are all trying to implement the control grid. And the question is, who's going to control it and who's going to make money on it? So is Trump our friend? Absolutely not. And if you look at the extraordinary effort that the administration has made to build the control grid, the local hardware and software infrastructure, billions of dollars. So let me step and talk about the local infrastructure.
Please
and then come back to this side, Andy. Let me explain what AI is really good at. So there's a lot of crazy, magical, stupid thinking on AI. But one of the things I will say about AI, it's absolutely superb at implementing or tracking things that can be expressed mathematically. So its ability to collect and process huge amounts of data like surveillance data, where you're trying to implement spatial control or financial control, it's absolutely fantastic at, okay? And if you look at all the data centers we're building all over the country, they are there for control. That's what they do. They're not there to make businesses. You know, I always laugh when the guys say, oh, we poured all this money into AI and it's not making companies more productive. Well, of course, it's not meant to make companies more productive. It's meant to make sure that the leadership has complete control, spatial control and financial control. I just noted Congressman Massey is now fighting to kill the switch in your car, kill the car switch. So they've got new items in the car that your car can be turned off, remotely. And so he's trying to kill the kill switch. But that gets back to spatial control. And if everybody's an electric car and you could kill the switch, there you go. You've got total control of movements and money.
So specifically on that note, we can debate the whole car stuff and the programmable money in terms of having a geolocation to where you can actually spend and not spend. But we need to just go back a little bit here before we get into the questioning. And again, bear with me here as we get into this subject matter. I know it's triggering for a lot of people. We are seeing a lot of that infrastructure already in place. And so I agree that the system is there right now and it has that capability, and it appears that that capability is growing. The question is whether or not it's going to be used in such a way that is positive for humanity, or perhaps for a period of time, maybe not so positive for humanity. And so in my conversation with Andy Sheckman earlier in the week, I asked him how much time he spends reading about this stuff. And he's like, 3-4 hours a day. That's on top of all the videos he watches. So a lot of the people commenting who didn't even read the Genius Act, don't even know what we're talking about, don't even know about this infrastructure bill that's in place right now for all the AI stuff. It's easy for them to comment one way or another without the information. So what we were trying to get at, Janine and I today, was that if the system is there and it's capable of doing that, what do we as adult humans just having a conversation here, void of emotion and political stripe, have to do to make sure that that system actually serves humanity, as opposed to maybe potentially being built to further entrap us in a new system that is even more controlling than the one that we're seeing die right now. So in that case, don't we all have the obligation to, at the very least, ask very tough questions, not just of President Trump, but all of our elected officials, but also really, really dig in and look underneath the hood of all of these solutions that are being presented to us right now to get us out of our so-called pain that we've lived over the last 5 years and decades. Presumably, if you talk about the inflation, we need to be very careful moving in here. In that respect alone, I agree with Catherine Austin Fitts that we have to be very vigilant here moving forward. Now, whether or not Trump is the bad guy or not, that's not what I'm touching at. I really want to look at what we need to do as citizens to be part and parcel responsible for the infrastructure that's being presented, and having our complete vote and understanding of what's being presented, so that we don't get hooked and winkled into this new control grid that is, in effect, building itself around us as we speak tonight. Janine, before you pull the cards, we did a whole show on this earlier today. What is your just general opinion right now on how to deal with this calmly, again, as adults, without throwing names out there against the people who are asking just tough questions here to this government? What would you say?
To me, it looks like they're trying to, they being maybe the powers that be, universal powers that be. I feel like it's karmic and timely right now at this time in the world that we learn to look under the hood always at anything political, even if not to idolize even Trump and team, even if it feels like there's something in the background working for us, not to be caught off guard and feel like we have to be on our toes at all times. The judgment card comes to mind, which is like that card never sleeps. So you are on your toes and you are looking at everything every which way, and then add the hanged man, because he'll turn everything upside down, and wait and feel it. We're being taught that, and this is part of the lesson. I feel like Trump leaving something that could that looks like, I think they want us to notice that there could be something coming in the back door there, and you better pay attention and then close that up, or at least yell about it. They want to see that we're on our toes and we're not just trusting them like the whole team. We're asking the hard questions. I feel like that's part of the lesson.
Okay, like if we go back to the election, just again to give context for the people here who haven't read the Genius Act, that have no clue what we're talking about here. Trump was proposing and promising during his campaign a ban on CBDCs, the central bank issued digital currencies. That's what a lot of us in this community who've been researching this for years are afraid of, because that's where all that programmable money comes into play, to where they can have an expiry date on the money. They can have you only be able to spend within a kilometer from your house if they want to put you on lockdown. All of these things are possible with programmable money. And when the bill finally came in its first apparition, the ban on CBDCs was not there. And if you'll recall, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, hey, whoa. This is not what we campaigned on. We promised the American people that we wouldn't have CBDCs, and the ban is not in here in this bill, and I'm not signing it. Remember that? You and I did a show on this. Yeah. And so it's not just Catherine Austin Fitts lifting the hand here. She's talking, I believe, wholeheartedly, Catherine is working for the best of humanity, and she's teaching us to do like Marjorie Taylor Greene and say, hey, hold on a second here. Make sure this is right for us. So we can't just blindly accepting whatever is proffered. Now, after Marjorie Taylor Greene said that, they did add some conditions in there. But what we're thinking about, and Andy is of the same opinion, again, very well read on subject matter, that the stable coins that are still in that bill could act as a CBDC of sorts. And that's why the worry is still there. And that has not yet been addressed. So again, it's all about us making sure that we're part of this solution here, and we know every step of the way what they're doing, what the intentions are, and how truly we and our children down the line are going to be affected by this whole grid that, whether you like it or not, is already in place and growing very, very rapidly. So as the question of advice here for the audience members who want to take the time to actually read the Genius Act, actually maybe not as much as Andy spending 4 or 5 hours a day reading and watching videos, but actually educating themselves here so they're part of the solution. What's the advice moving forward, Janine? Let's do a poll.
Wow, these are pretty interesting. All really positive cards. So the sun
on advice on how to be part of the solution moving forward and not getting hoodwinked. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because the cards are very interesting. I don't know if they want to talk about that, is what I'm getting.
Okay.
Okay. So see if this works into that. Okay, I'll just because I can't really twist it into that because it doesn't really look like it's answering that. But I'll just say what it's saying. So the sun is very present and wants you to be. This is what I said. What do we need to be like? The sun is present. Well, in a way, you need to be really present, and you can't just go back to sleep and not be noticing things. Mm-hmm. Okay, so wide awake, bring your light and be really present. But also the sun enjoys life and assumes the best. It's one of the best cards in the deck. Okay, and then here we've got the King of Pentacles, and that card is very generous. There's a generosity with that card. There's a gargariousness and a sense of wealth and feeling like these two cards with that one in the middle would be how you attract abundance. All of these things attract abundance. So assume the position that you already are abundant. Notice what you do have and visualize as if you already have what you need. So I guess it's saying stay the heck out of fear. Mm-hmm. Stay really in the present and imagine yourself abundant.
Manifest your abundance here.
Yeah.
You're responsible for manifesting abundance.
Yep. And then the Empress going forward. So she's like the queen or more in charge. So it's almost like take back charge, take it out of the hands of any kind of officialdom, make sure that you have all the abundance potential you need in your own hands. Don't rely on, stay present, and don't rely on Trump or anybody to give you permission to be an abundant person. I feel like it's saying that. And then we've got the 7 and the 6. And there's also more going to pan out here. Okay, so not to assume something. So this is literally the 2 advice cards. So this guy, he waits because there's a lot more coming out on that. Okay, and I don't even think we're not done hearing about that yet. There's a lot more to come, and things are going to pan out differently. We're moving in a whole different direction. So don't assume the worst either. Like it feels like, stay in a good centered place, stay in the present, assume you will have control of your abundance. Don't fall into fear, because I think that'll just help manifest what we don't want.
Yeah, that's very good. So the being present, the manifesting, not counting on anything else. Somebody asked us in the chat today during the viewer question exactly that. And I said, disintermediate is what I said. That's because the person asked, what's your solution? I said, disintermediate to the best you can. Don't get involved in those games. And when you go get involved in those games, you choose wisely, temporarily, if and when that is effective for you to do so. But the more that you're disintermediated and that you have your own wealth in your own possession and under your control, you're outside of these machinations and these games. Don't play that game. Yep. So very fascinating. Yeah, thank you for that poll. That's really great. Sandra Dreaming, wow, the manifesting like Neville Goddard has written about. Yes, go check out his book. A really good book. Very good. Okay, There's another comment here. Let me see if we can get back to it. This is interesting too. And to some extent, I agree with Savage on paper. They're just trying to expose what the deep state had planned. She's part of that disclosure, Catherine Austin Fitz, Savage on paper is saying. Not going to happen, though. You must show the people. I'd say maybe on that. That's definitely part of what we've been seeing over the last 5 years, but that only brings you so far. Janine's read is going way further than that. She says, yeah, that's all happening, but you still need to be abundant for yourself. So that doesn't take you off the hook from being present and doing the work and assuming your own abundance. So sure, they might show the state, but don't rely on them after that to make you abundant. That's being very clear also in the cards. Okay, very good, Janine. Dude, this whole Erica Kirk story is getting weirder and weirder by the day, Janine. Did you see this? What the hell?
Insanity. Yeah, it's insane.
Terrell Farnsworth, who climbed on her husband's bloody chair to remove the SD card evidence from the Charlie Kirk assassination crime scene, can be seen standing behind Erica Kirk in this leaked video yesterday. This is the TPUSA internal call from September 16, 2025. She looks very happy and having fun for something horrible that just happened a couple of days prior. And of course, that guy is there in that room. Man, is she going to fall on all of this? Is this all going to come out for the weird, fucked up scam that it is, Janine? I'm at the end on this one. Well, you and I were months ago, but I'm just like, no, it's so over the top. I don't know what to make of this. You guys let me know on the live chat. Do you think this is crazy? Like absolutely crazy?
Yeah.
And yet they've moved so many Americans and people around the world on emotions for a huge, huge psyop that continues to unravel before our eyes. But yet even the conservatives on the Hill, apart from a few who are brave enough to say it, this is not yet like having a lot of traction. Not enough traction for what we're seeing. There should be a lot more traction. Janine, where are we?
Okay, so stay independent of it. All the drama. Okay, it's a political drama. They got a political reason why they're doing it. I feel like it's you know that thing that happened. I had it in my mind. Something happened and everyone was paying attention to it. Johnny Depp and his ex, and they were having a big scrap in public. Like it was just
the divorce thing.
Degenerate, stupid stuff. And when I read on it, it looked like they'd never really lived together. She was just a handler of his, or he was her handler, somebody's handler. And they were totally just all just put there for distraction. That's what this feels like. We got a big, very creative distraction. Basically, stay independent from it. Like stay in your own personal strength and see through it intuitively. Like nothing about it reads true. Nothing about any of those people. It's a tangled web and it gets just stupider. So it's like drama you don't need. I feel like it's like political drama you do not need to be involved in.
So like, I don't know what to say. It's frustrating, and at the same time, it's so it's such an energy draw to even look at this.
Like vampire.
Yeah, that's a good point, Janine. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, let me know in the live chat. Are you tired of this story? Yes, or do you want to hear more drama? Say no. I'm curious.
Some people like the drama. Some people like the drama, right? Yeah. It was like the whole, think about it, Meghan Markle with that first baby of hers. Okay, that was they never showed the baby. And then it was all of us trying to figure out that like what the obvious, that they were just faking us out, that they even had a kid and they'd borrow some kid. And then people would track down the kid they borrowed, and it was just stupid. And I was involved in it right up to here because I was reading on it every single day. It's how I got all those followers. We were all just obsessed with the drama, right? So I guess it just keeps you busy for a while, but at some point, step off the wheel, right?
What you're describing now is kind of entertainment drama. I get what you're saying, but in this particular case, I think where I'm having the issue with, and maybe the audience members can chime in, is that I feel like I'm being mocked. So this is now not just drama, like you said, what's his face, Johnny Depp, and the divorce stuff. Like, okay, that's kind of like entertainment drama on the side. Here, I feel where they're mocking us. It's right in our face. That's what I'm just like. I can't stand it anymore.
Yeah. And maybe that's the point. Now they've taken it that far that you have to see.
Yeah.
They're trying to see how foolish people still are, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely some
gauge on what humanity right now.
There's definitely still some foolish people in the world on this whole Alex Purdy story. So let's get into that a little bit here. Just a couple of days ago, we're seeing the huge uproar. This amazing nurse who all he's done in his life is, he's such a gentle soul, and his mission in his life is to help people. And oh my God, the rhetoric we saw until this video came out, and now they're showing more and more of the videos, and now CNN also has to cover the fact that maybe this guy wasn't as pretty as he was being made out to be. Yeah. But I want to play a clip from Joe Rogan. Let's go to this one here first. It kind of sets that out into motion. And don't forget, they turned him green when they wanted to put him out of the board or the conversation during COVID when he spoke about ivermectin. But let's see how the tables have flipped now on this pretty guy.
Did you see what MSNBC did to his image?
Yeah, where they gussied it up.
Did the opposite of what CNN did to me. CNN during the COVID times turned me green, and they made me ugly and look like I was dying, and they made him handsome.
Yeah.
So people would be more sympathetic to him getting shot, which is kind of wild. Like, are ugly people less valuable to MSNBC?
Less marketable?
That is crazy to me. Like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
Look at the difference. They shortened up his face. They gave him a little bit of a tan. They widened his face a little bit, it seems like. They just made him a little handsomer.
Yeah,
a little hotter.
They gave him a bit of that Chad jaw, didn't they?
They shrunk his nose a little too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
They shrunk his nose.
Yeah,
gave him a little bit of a handsome jaw. So he looks like an
even
American.
Made him. If you look at the shoulders, it even looks like they may have plumped up the shoulders there a bit.
A little bit, yeah. The one on the right looks like he's a little plumper. Yeah. They changed the tone of the color. Wild. I mean, they changed his fucking teeth, man.
Communist News Network.
Look, they gave him veneers.
Yeah.
Look at the difference in his teeth. He's a much more handsome guy. Like, that one on the right is like the handsome brother, and the one on the left is like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I look like my
one on the right
brother?
Yeah, the one on the
Okay, these guys are having fun. But yet, I had so many normies in the last couple of days crying at me like, JC, you're so wrong, and those police are wearing masks and all. Like, oh my God, I couldn't even answer them. Yeah. And then this all came out the day after they were giving me this barrage over dinner. Yeah. And I kindly forwarded them all the videos, but nobody's responded to me since. No. So it's kind of funny. Yeah. Now, Trump reposted this one. This is worth playing also. This is Pocahontas, of course.
This is a good one.
With her rendering of who Purdy was versus who he is now with the video. So this is now her Baghdad Bob moment here. So let's play her clip.
Caring for people was at the core of who he was. He was incapable of causing harm. Alex carried patience, compassion, and calm as a steady light within him. Even at the very end, that light was there. I recognized his familiar stillness and signature calm composure.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't hear the clip, but like the things that this is an older clip, so he's been at this for a while. He's
10 years apparently.
Yeah. And so absolutely crazy. There was another cool meme going out that the original version on the left, the CNN version in the middle, and the upcoming Netflix version on the right. That's just how they're fucking with us in such a big way. And people are still buying it. At least there's a portion of people buying it. I saw a clip earlier today. It was from Jillian Michaels. Remember her? She was very popular like 20 years ago. She was doing these like yoga kind of like training videos online. Let me see if I can find that clip. Okay, I think it's this one here. I want to play the clip of what she's saying. And she's talking to Democrats. Let me see if we can bring it back.
Bill Clinton, he deported or returned 12 million people. Obama deported and returned 5 million people. Trump is not even at 1.5 million. And no, they didn't all get due process. In fact, Bill Clinton worked with a Republican Congress to pass a law that deprived anyone within 100 miles of any U.S. border who'd been in the country less than 14 days a courtroom. Obama expanded that law. So for everyone who's mad about Alligator Alcatraz, let's also not forget that Obama was the one who built the cages at the border. The reason that you weren't seeing ICE agent raids all over the news back then is because sanctuary cities did not exist. Local law enforcement cooperated with federal law enforcement.
Imagine that, but it's no longer the case. That's a big differential. Yeah.
Held criminals for ICE to pick up. They didn't release them. They didn't tell people that ICE were Trump's private army who was zip tying children. Also a lie. And guess what? ICE didn't have to wear masks. They wore street clothes. They didn't need to wear riot gear. No riot gear. Wake up. You're being manipulated.
Thank you. Isn't she great?
Oh yeah, and I sure wish a couple of my liberal ex-friends would watch this, man. Oh my God. Yeah.
I think they're all gonna fall on their sword on this one. I hope, anyways.
Yeah.
But I mean, just judging by the deathly quiet from my normie friends when I sent them these clips today, it's hard to go around that. Anyways, yeah, a lot of people in the chat having fun. All right, guys, we're in for the second segment of our show. We're done with the news hour show here tonight. We're at the 55-minute mark. We have two guests coming on board now to have a completely different conversation with you guys as well. And don't forget, we also have some amazing prizes for you this evening. So without further ado, let me welcome Astrid back on the stage. Astrid, how are you doing?
Hi, JC and Janine. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
We're doing well. Have you been watching all this craziness here in North America?
Yeah, it's like a lot to handle, honestly.
It's a lot to handle. Guys, please join me also in welcoming the amazing Carla back to the show. Carla, how are you?
Hi, JC, Janine, Astrid. Hi, everybody.
I'm excited to have you on. And folks, the reason I'm asking Carla and Astrid to join us this evening, of course, is we're just around the corner here from Valentine's Day. And on our website, let me see if we can get to that page here very quickly. We've just added a brand new product on the consultation page with Astrid. And that has to do, of course, with compatibility and astrology here for couples. So the first one is the couples astro synastry reading, and the second one, the couples composite chart reading with Astrid. So let me start first by asking you, Astrid, what does this mean? What's the difference between the two products, and why are people using this here and availing themselves of these compatibility charts here, either to attract the right mate and or to make their current relationships even better? And of course, we're going to have a live demonstration with Carla, who's being a good sport this evening, to go through the process with you guys here in the live chat. So first, Astrid, what's the difference between these two products here?
Well, the synastry chart is actually how two people affect each other. So you can bump into a person and they can have a very, very strong magnetizing effect on you. That is how we can look in the chart and see what's causing this magnetism. It is actually the combination of two birth charts on top of one another. And then we can see the personal birth energy, how that affects the other person and vice versa. So then when a relationship does blossom, we can go look at the composite chart, because the composite chart is actually the midpoints between the synastry and a birth chart, and it's actually the relationship that has a life of its own. And then we can also see a lot of dynamics and how current transits not only affect the synastry, but also your relationship itself, the composite chart. So I hope that makes sense.
It does. It does. Okay. How are we going to do this tonight? We want to give an example to the audience members of how all of this worked. Janine was kind enough to be the guinea pig 2 weeks ago for the Beyond Healing session with Shannon. and I was looking far and wide to find somebody who wanted to be on the show tonight. And Carla lifted her hand like the brave warrior that she is. Carla, what's your expectation tonight going through this process here and having Astrid read your compatibility with you and your husband? What are you looking for tonight?
Actually, I'm very excited because I know that Astra is going to probably validate a lot of the things that I already knew about my husband. So that's probably what I'm looking for tonight. So I'm very, very excited for the reading.
Okay, very good. Astrid, do you want to start? Like, how do you want to start the process? Let's get into it here with the audience.
I actually have something to share with my screen. I've already prepared.
Okay, very good.
The synastry chart. As long as Carla is being, if you're okay by me sharing them in a public way, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So here we have the synastry chart. So in the middle, we have Carla, and on the outside, we see her husband, Tony. So actually, the first thing that immediately struck my mind is when we look at the angles of the chart, look how they fall on top of each other. This, to me, immediately indicates that this is a soulmate synastry chart. Having all these angles exactly conjunct, that is very, very rare. So these angles, they're not just personality traits, they are actually life directions, because this is how you present yourself. It is your rising. This is your most inner deep emotions and the fourth house of family. And then this is partnership. And here we have career. So we can see that the four major aspects in your life totally correlate with one another. And that is rare for me to see. So very, very special. And I immediately got very excited by looking at your charts. The combination, it is truly unique. So what I immediately also noticed is that you are, of course, a Taurus rising, and that means that Venus is your chart ruler. And look at this. You have a Venus conjunct the rising sign. His patterns of upbringing, how he was brought up by his family, by his mother, it correlates very, very strongly with how you present yourself. And Chiron, the wounded healer, it is actually healing your love planet, your planet of love, Venus. So when I see this, it is very beautiful for me to see. Also, what I can tell by your love language, Carla, is that you are actually one who really loves physical touch, because it's in the sign of Taurus, and it's also about spending quality time together and enjoying the finer things in life. And by doing this, you automatically also heal wounds within, and by being very loving and very understanding. So it is a very beautiful combination what we see here. Then other things that I immediately noticed as well is that you, Carla, have your sun at 28 degrees of Pisces. So it's at the end degrees of Pisces. You already went through many lifetimes, really diving into the Piscean realms of spirituality and mysticism and all of that. You are a very, very hypersensitive person. But look at this. We see Tony's South Node, and this is a very big indicator of the past and especially past lives. So your sun, your identity, your life force, it has very old soul energy, but the fact that it's conjunct the South Node of Tony, it indicates a very big past life connection. This is like very strong familiarity, instant connection, and also the feeling of instantly, I know you, but I don't know from where. And it could feel very, very strangely natural upon your first meeting together. So very comfortable, very sticky also. This is a very big indicator of a karmic connection, a past life love, because we can see it here at the other side of the chart as well. Venus, the planet of love, is actually conjunct your South Node, Carla. So this is like past life love, and it is fully exact. So very mind-blowing for me to see that you have a conjunction towards each other's South Node. It is, yeah, you've been together for many lifetimes, actually. That is really, really strongly indicated here. So of course,
Hold on a second, Astrid, before you go too fast. Carla is smiling ear to ear. Just on those first couple of comments in aspects, Carla, what do you see? What are you getting validations on, and what perhaps do you have extra questions also?
No, absolutely. We knew from the moment we met each other that instant familiarity of, like, even our upbringing was so similar, and our daily life is so similar from the beginning. So it was very easy for us to just get together. And also, I know about my past lives, and I know that we have been together like many, many, many times. So I know that, like, you're just validating what I knew. Absolutely. 100%.
Okay, keep going, Astrid.
All right, so that is so beautiful to hear. Another thing that is very welcome, actually, the energy that we're all looking for within a partner or a mate, that is actually found within the fifth house. It is the house of love. It is where we fall in love. The seventh house is where we create a long-term commitment, and the eighth house is a deeper level to the relationship. But the fifth house, it is like love from in the movies. It can be a little bit dramatic, theatrical, but it's about big, grand gestures. And having Venus and his Mars in your fifth house of love, that is like, these are the synastry aspects that one is looking for. So, but going further here on the little plot twist is that we can see a south node and a north node conjunction. So he represents your past, but he's also guiding you in your future direction. So the North Node is what Carla needs to learn in his life. It is her destiny and her assignment where she needs to grow into. So everything Carla needs to learn, Tony already embodies, and vice versa here. So you really push each other in a very big conscience growth evolutionary kind of sense. So even by just being in each other's energy, you are pushing each other's towards each other's North Node, and that is like a very welcoming gift in one's life, because when we have a partner who pushes us out of our comfort zone into the things that we need to learn in this lifetime, then that is such a big blessing from the universe. So again, very deeply karmic, very emotionally binding as well. And you understand each other so instinctively. And when you really activate each other's soul lessons, and you also mirror towards each other, like where you've been and also where you're going in both directions, vice versa. This is like very, very amazing. And then, of course, the fifth house. Yeah, this is like falling in love, romance, chemistry, all these planets here. It is fun. It is sparks, really sparks flying, and a very exciting zone, because the fifth house is where things get born. So it's actually also a very big indicator of having kids here. I don't know if you have kids, Carla.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. He sees you, Blue is Tony. He sees you as like the perfect mother, because his Venus falls within your fifth house of having children together. So, and what I also see is that his love language is actually acts of service, being present and helping you out in a very, very practical way. But that also gets exciting, because Venus is in the fifth house of fun and joy and romance. So yeah, this is really, really beautiful. And it is the house of romance.
I could just imagine all the Latin passion in the fifth house there. It must be through the roof. Lakeside Laura says, JC, you lucked out. That's a good chart. I kind of knew. I've met Tony and Carla in person in Ottawa through the conference, and I didn't need the astrological chart to know, but this is fascinating. Now, let me ask you also, Astrid, for people who are currently in relationships, whether it's the composite chart or the synastry chart, how can one use that to maybe help with some things that need to have a little bit more attention in the relationship, or whether that's how they deal with money, whether that's how they deal with children, or how they deal with their careers collectively? How do you use these charts and these synastries to make the couple even stronger moving forward? Give us some examples of that.
Yes. So sometimes people struggle to have kids and they don't know why. And if I then can see that there's like, for example, a very difficult transit or like synastry aspect happening in the fifth house, I can directly point that out and also give some remedies for that. And also the eighth house is shared finances. So what I see here is that Saturn trines Saturn, and Saturn is the lord of karma. It is also time, but when we see a trine, it points towards good karma towards one another, and it's also affecting the eighth house of shared finances. And if we then look at the compatibility chart, we can also see that here at the top of the chart, we see a very big emphasis, and the whole purpose of the relationship in a career kind of way is actually having a spiritual business together or helping each other out, because the North Node is in the 10th house, really growing in in your own business together. And Neptune is the planet of spirituality in Sagittarius, connected to foreign countries, wisdom, intuition. All of that is very strongly indicated in the chart here. And then we can also see like, whoa, there is a whole stellium in Gemini in the 3rd house. So they need to communicate, and communication is like their strongest asset. Whenever things go a little bit south, and I do, however, think that is not that doesn't happen a lot, but then communication and talking things through is really already like the whole solution. I also see that Venus here is actually trining Mars. So the cosmic lovers are dancing hand in hand in a trine aspect. And that really indicates that their love will never burn up. It is something that keeps in a flowing aspect. And if you look at the synastry chart, it is also visible here. So the cosmic lovers are, of course, Mars and Venus, and they are also in trine aspect here. And look, they trine towards the other side as well. Sometimes people come in for a reading and then they're like, why does the desire, why does it like lessen over time? And then I can see like, okay, there are no aspects between your masculinity and your femininity. Like if the cosmic lovers do not touch in a positive way, then that is a relationship that can more quickly fizzle out. But here I can see an enormous amount of desire and passion that is going to be renewed throughout your lifetime. So this is where everyone is looking for, Carla.
Hey, keep it family oriented here. I'm having fun with you. Okay, Nicole 21792 is asking me a question. Nicole, I'm interested in what you're saying. Could you please send me an email? Just use the contact form at beyondmystic.net. Go to the top of the page and use the contact form there. It'll come to me, and write in the subject matter what you're just discussing now in the live chat. Thank you. So, Carla, let me ask you. Look, going into this tonight, of course, you're saying, okay, I knew I was going to get some confirmations. We're getting the confirmations. Is there something also looking at these charts that you might say, I've always wondered this about Tony, or I've always wondered why I do this particular thing with Tony? What kind of questions can you ask Astrid here and see if we could use her talent to maybe decipher and give you some clues here on how to maybe address some of those questions you might have? Carla.
Yeah, one thing that you said that struck me is the communication part, because whenever there's a situation or a problem, we have this thing where we will talk to each other until we can talk no more. It's just like at 3 a.m, we're still talking. So and we, like, my point is that we never like finish a conversation unless the issue is resolved. So, and that has helped us a lot with, like, figuring things out. But I feel like sometimes our emotions get in the way. Do you see something that has to do with like emotions being too high? And because the things that we like, that we sometimes discuss are really dumb. It's just emotional stuff that we had to work on, basically.
Yeah. Well, what I can see is actually here in the chart. It is very funny for me to notice, but you have Mercury in the sign of Pisces. So you are very much connected to the unseen realms, and also sometimes a little bit with your head in the clouds. With the Mercury in Pisces, I have it as well, so I understand it pretty good. And then on the whole other side of the spectrum, we can see a Mercury in the sign of Virgo. So it's very practical, very earthly, very grounded. And it is so special for me to see, because I also have a Mercury in Pisces, and my boyfriend also has a Mercury in Virgo. So, and we also tend to like talk the entire night about all of the conspiracy theories that are coming out and becoming true, and it's like a never-ending story. And sometimes we really need to tell ourselves like, okay, now we need to sleep. But of course, yeah, it is like, it's very strong. There is a very passionate connection, but also a very mental connection, and that is what is being displayed here in the composite chart. It is really talking things through is so essential. Daily communication, it is the entire glue of your chart, and it also always provides calm after the chaos. We also have here a moon in the sign of Taurus, because you were asking about your emotions as well. And Taurus, it is very grounded. It is very also stable and secure. Security, it is so important. And whenever we have Taurus in the mix here as well, communication becomes a source of grounding your emotions. So also talking things through is going to benefit you on an emotional level as well. And what I also think is so beautiful, and I also want to highlight it, is that the composite chart has a Pisces rising. And for you, Carla, that is so important, because the rising sign, so the identity of the relationship falls so close towards your sun. So you are able to shine within the relationship. And if we now look at Venus, I remember that Tony has a moon and a Jupiter in Cancer. And so love here, love planet of you two combined together is exactly conjunct his moon, femininity, emotions, intuition, but also on top of Jupiter. And his Jupiter is expanding the love even more. So that is then another way of looking at your relationship, how the composite actually affects your own natal birth chart as well. And within that way, we can make so many connections. But Pisces rising, it is soulmate energy bond. It is very romantic, intuitive, emotional, and very sensitive towards each other's vibes. You can probably communicate telepathically even with this stellium in the third house of communication and a Pisces rising.
Wow, fascinating. One more question, Carla? Anything else you've been dying to know?
No, she validated for me that I mean I never really confirmed the soulmate part. I know we had past lives together, but I didn't really look into the soulmate part. And now that you're saying it, makes sense. Absolutely makes sense.
Very good. Somebody in the chat is asking, Nura Light, can the reading be done for a friendship, not a romance? And if so, explain how. I know that in some cases, people will look at the synastry not just for their friendship, but maybe for their boss or a work colleague in order to amplify and, again, make those situations even better and more productive. Explain how that can be used, Astrid.
Yeah, it can be used for every relationship. I've used it a lot to entangle the relationship with my mother, for example, and how I can be more of benefit towards her and vice versa. But definitely also, if you want to look at a friendship, it can be very handy to look at that and look at where you're combining each other or where you're like mirroring each other and what are the underlying dynamics within all of that. And yeah, to look at your boss's chart, that would also be very interesting, JC. So
I've done that before. That's why I was saying that. That's fascinating. Okay. Do you want to take questions from the audience members? Maybe Astrid, is there? Yeah. How do you want to frame the questions for it to make sense there too? Because you don't have their charts or anything, but with relationship to the synastry and the composite, how do you want them to frame the question to you?
Yeah, it is going to be difficult to to answer the questions if it's in regards to astrology without looking at their chart. But if they want to ask something else, I will make sure that I can answer.
Okay, well, let me see if I can find some in the live chat here. In the meantime, let's go back to the poster for the promotion that's available this week. Let me just bring this one off and then bring this one back on here. So yeah, brand new on beyondmystic.net. You guys have been asking this for quite some time. We've put it together. So there's the astro synastry part and also the composite chart part. Now, if I'm just beginning in a relationship, is there one that's better for me than the other? How do we start with this process, Astrid?
Well, the best is if there's not been a full relationship formed, then it would be best to first look at the synastry, how you like trigger each other, where the chemistry is based on and which houses. But then when a relationship really becomes committed, we can look at the unity of the entire relationship through the composite chart.
Okay. And can I also use this to look at potential mates and suitors? Do I start there even before the relationship? Again, here I do the synastry for that?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And now let me bring this other concept into it. And I want to ask Janine to pull some cards on this. A big component in the last number of years of us understanding who we are as humans and developing some of our gifts, Astrid, you kind of talked about there, where Carla and Tony maybe have some telepathic abilities here because of that stellium in their third house. But more and more humans are also getting attuned to those different abilities. And I'm curious, Janine, I know that your card deck, I think, is dead, but maybe you can go old school with your cards. How can humans use perhaps the synastry and the composite chart to not only tune in to those abilities, but really, really hit the ground running and maybe get ahead of the curve here as humanity is transforming at that level right now? What would you see as advice there, using these tools here to maybe propel them to be able to use these tools even better moving forward? Does that make sense?
As couples?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would they how would they go to Astrid and get this done?
Right.
How would it?
Yeah, and what universe would say about using that, the synastry and the composite, to help humans in couples relationship even fast track their ability to be telepathic and use all of these extra skills that are coming down now, as you've been describing over the last number of years, about these solar rays hitting us, the energies from space healing us. We're moving into another territory, and it's very uncomfortable because there's a lot of change, and that change is also going to be very uncomfortable in a couple's relationship. So I'm curious how using these synastry charts can help us navigate all of that as well. That's what I'm asking.
So the first one I got was the 6 of Pentacles, which is working things out. So this is like when things can be worked out or worked through. And then there's the surrender card. Okay, so I think you must be talking about 2 people that are actually red-pilled. So let's assume you, because it seems to me you'd have to be red-pilled for this to work. Okay, so once you understand the ways, like one person's love language and how you're going to affect them, how your Venus is going to affect their moon, and like all the things that Astrid was saying, those are like keys that Carla and Tony can actually even discuss together once they know and go, okay, what's being triggered right now in this conversation is this aspect. Maybe we need to work over here. You can move around in your chart to get more, like if you make a decision together to use the tool of the synergy chart, you could actually understand each other better. You could work together to come more together as a team. You could use your past life experience and go forward. Like I once had a partner for a short time. We weren't together very long. And him and I's chart was really, really interesting, similar to Carla and Tony's. So it's kind of unfortunate. I'll have to catch up to him in another lifetime. He's like the one that got away, one of those. And I feel like together, if we would have stayed together and worked at it, we could have actually done a lot of good healing work together. He was a Chinese medicine doctor and a really intuitive guy. And I do what I do. And together we were like an amazing team when we worked with somebody at figuring out what they needed and how to heal. And I feel like couples could get more dynamic that way and work together. Some of our work is together with, especially if you have a big karmic chart like Carla's and Tony's. I feel like you could understand together how, as a team, intuitively, you could actually bring even more healing into the world, or even just understand each other so you can bring healing to the relationship and be the best people within the relationship you can. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's very good advice. Thank you, Jane. That's kind of where I was thinking, but thank you for the confirmation. Nathalie Lavoie is asking a good question, Astrid. If you see a reading that, in your view, when you do this composition, looks, I won't say negative, but let's say challenging. Some charts are definitely challenging. How do you present it to them? How do you read them? And how do you use that to actually help the couple?
Well, if synastry is very negative, it never comes as a surprise. People, they come to me with certain problems, and mostly there can be some afflictions or bad aspects going on into the 8th house. And the 8th house is about deep, intense psychological stuff and also trauma. And they mostly then ask me, why is this women or men draining me of my energy? And then I look at the 8th house and I immediately have the answer. And I have some people that I've guided through it and that are now way more aware about like the psychic effect that they have on each other, or like the energetic bond that they share. And now that they're more aware of it, they kind of transformed a lot of the more negative aspects by just going, really facing their own shadows within the 8th house. So there was one relationship in particular that I'm thinking about right now. It was like on the brinks of like collapsing. And I've looked at a lot of the aspects and I've mentioned them full on, very honestly. And they became so aware, and the awareness already transformed a lot of the negativity. And they are still together right now, and they've worked through so many karmic patterns, and they are way more aware not to charge for too much money or like divide their shared assets in a more fair way. The give and take axis got balanced out, and because of the guidance through the synastry chart, they are now they've grown towards each other in a very beautiful way.
Wow. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. No, that answers the question perfectly. That's great. I have a technical question from Jay Tar. Maybe you can answer this, maybe off the top of your head. Can Astrid compare briefly the good/bad of a Cancer female married to a Scorpio male? What would be the outlining dynamics there to navigate?
Well, first of all, they are both a water sign. So that means that their sun, their ego, their core identity, the sunshine within their life, it flows beautifully towards each other through a trine aspect. So the egos are actually in sync with one another. That in itself is all a very, very positive aspect. The other thing is that they are both water signs, so they are both very emotional, and a Cancer can get a little bit moody from time to time, and a Scorpio is very highly sensitive towards other people's emotions. And sometimes when the Cancer ebbs, the Scorpio flows, and vice versa, so they can handle each other's moods. But whenever things become too emotionally intense, that can feel a little bit overwhelming, and especially for Cancer when the Scorpio is a little bit too intense at times. So it depends, but sun signs alone, it is difficult to say. It is like the entire chart that is needed here, because for the males we go look at Venus, and for the females we go look at Mars and how they are aspected with one another. And if they are in a square, well, I'm very sorry, there will always be some kind of a tension between you two. There is an enormous physical attraction, but it always comes with a lot of drama. Whenever they are in a trine, like Carla and Tony, then that is just effortless. So that is a very big difference.
Wow, wonderful. Okay, it's time to give away some prizes, guys. Thank you. Well, first of all, Carla, any last question? Anything else coming up on the synastry chart before we go?
No, not that I can think of. Thank you, Astrid. That was awesome.
Any last words also, Astrid, for Carla? Any advice, any hidden gems in there that we have not talked about yet before we go to the next segment?
Oh, well, I'm gonna see Carla pretty soon, and I will spill more beans whenever we are in private, because I have some things to mention you for sure.
Okay, very good. Guys, check it out, beyondmystic.net. Click on the consultation page. And of course, for Valentine's coming up, we have a special discount available for you guys tonight, as opposed to the 10% normal discount on consultations. We have it down to 15% right now. Valentine 15 in one word is the coupon code on either the couples astro synastry or the couples composite chart reading here with Astrid. So check that out on beyondmystic.net. Now let's give away, Carla, what are we giving away? We're giving the
astrology pendants.
The astrology pendants. Okay,
yeah.
I think I just clicked on it by mistake. So let me go back. So which one do you have now? Do you have one on it right now?
I have the Pisces on.
You have a Pisces
today
on.
that we're talking about astrology.
Okay, very good. So let's give away one of those pendants. Janine, do you have a question for the audience members to give it away tonight?
Yeah. What kitty came and snuggled me while Astrid was discussing the charts?
Right. While we wait for that to populate, guys, please check out ascensionorganize.com. Currently, there's a big special on, of course, Valentine's coming up. The Timeless Love jewelry sale is on, 25% all pendants, bracelets, and all silver jewelry here, of course. And you can find the astrology shungite pendants as well there. The coupon code for that is Beyond Mystic in one word, and you'll get 10% off there for that. Janine, let me know when to stop the feed, and we'll pick a winner there.
Stop.
All right. Is it Dusty Bum, Janine?
Yeah, it was Dusty.
Right. CNS 1000, congratulations. You're the winner. Please come to beyondmystic.net, top of the page. Just fill out the tech support form, and we'll send that out to you. And let us know which sign you are, of course, and we'll have Carla pick out the proper Shungite astrology pendant for you. Okay, next up is, I believe, the duo of these beautiful candles here from Aline at floralinefarm.ca. Janine, do you have a question for this one?
Oh, pick somebody else.
I have a good one. What house was that really crazy stellium in for Tony and Carla? We spoke about that a little bit earlier, so hopefully you guys were penning up. So I'm looking for the house, number 1, 2, 3, 4 to 12. Which number house were we talking about for that stellium? While we wait for that to populate as well, please do go and support Janine at tarotbyjanine.com. Janine, typically here you do 2-3 new shows a week. You do interviews from time to time, and you also have your monthly zodiac spread. All of that included for the $4.99 a month. Yep. Are you close to the zodiac spread now? We're sitting at the 29th of January.
Probably Sunday.
Sunday. Okay, very good. So guys, check it out, tarotbyjanine.com. A big thank you to all of you supporters there, helping Janine with that beautiful community there, getting all the news and enabling Janine to do all of these free shows online as well for you guys. So big thank you to all the supporters there as well. And on a quick note also, Janine and I'm not sure if Coco put it on the board yet, but Janine and I are going to be recording the Astro Woo or the Woo-Fi finance show on Saturday. No, it's not there yet. I think we're at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be looking at the forecast for the month of February from a financial point of view here. So that's going to be on the Saturday for those of you asking. Probably by tomorrow, you'll see the new poster up on the screen there. Okay, so let me go back to the live chat and get to the bottom of the screen here and see if we can pick a winner for tonight. Okay, quite a few good answers. Astrid, let me know when to stop the feed.
Stop.
Earth Dragon. Congratulations. This person has won before too. It's absolutely crazy to see sometimes all these scrolls, how fast they go. And we often find a lot of the lovely people who support the show. So thank you, Earth Dragon. So you know how to claim your prize. Just send us an email and we'll get Aline to send you those beautiful candles. If you're interested in that also, I saw that Jan and Lynn were crazy busy this week at packing up candles. The launch of these candles have been absolutely successful. So please check it out if you're interested in that. BM10 is the coupon code for the candles, including everything else on the website if you're also looking for amazing soap products as well as the salt baths, which is a big favorite of Janine there as well. So check it out at floralinfarm.ca. Janine, last words to you tonight before we go. Crazy times, a lot of change. And speaking of Valentine's coming up, why is it so important to have somebody to go through all of this right now? And why is it so important maybe for us to pay a little bit more attention to our relationships, to our couples, to support each other in this change, but have them also and be vulnerable enough to also let our partners support us here in all of these big changes? What would you give away as advice there?
Wow. I'm asking the universe because actually I'm really bad at all of the stuff you just said.
Okay.
I'm single and I got Dusty snuggling me. Okay, so I can't speak to that this lifetime. I'm going to work on it though. Next lifetime, I got a few that I'm going to be checking up on. We're like, okay, I'll catch you next lifetime when I'm better at this. That's
you already have a full dance card for the next.
Oh yeah, I got a good dance card ready to go. Okay, so we've got the Two of Cups. So that's self-love. So really important to first love yourself so you can truly like know what it feels like to be loved and loving. Like you need that self-love, because if a person is loving you but you're not loving yourself, they have to do the work for both of you, and it gets tiring. Like I've had relationships with people that didn't work on their self-love, and it's really annoying because they don't see what you see in them, and they're always like looking for validation, and it's draining and just all around annoying. Okay, so yeah, work on your own self-love. And also what's really good when you have somebody to go through all the crazy times with is you can remind each other not to move into fear. So when all the fear porn's coming up strong, and we've had over the last especially 5 and 6 years, like it'd be nice to bounce that off somebody. I bet Carla and Tony know what I'm talking about. When things get scary out there, and they've been scary, it would be really fun and really, really, really useful to have somebody that you really trust to discuss things with, and you know how to move forward out of the fear, right? And or could talk you down out of, like when I'm having a bad day, it'd be really nice sometimes to have somebody to like run that through, so I know, is this my intuition or is this just my fear? Right? Having to do all that work on your own, it'd be nice to have somebody to sort of run that by, right? And also somebody to remind you to physically enjoy life too. So not just live in your head and online, and you know what I mean? If somebody's going through what the crazy things that have been going on, and they're alone in life and they don't have somebody to share that with, especially an intimate partner, like you're going to forget like the beauty of physically connecting with somebody, which of course the universe supports, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we've got libidos. That's why we've got parts that fit together really nice. You know what I mean? And sparks.
Don't question me, Janine.
Sorry.
Oh, we're having too much fun. Okay, yes, parts that fit together. That's one way of saying.
And spark.
Yeah.
And the Latin blood up there is chiming in. Yes, absolutely, with all the passion within. All right, hey, thank you so much, everyone. If you like the show, hit that like button, and also leave us a comment. A lot of people are suggesting that we should start a brand new show with Janine being the host called Beyond Dating. So that's going to be coming up very soon, guys. We'll see if I can convince Janine.
I've done a lot of it. Yeah. I know what not to do.
What not to do. All right. Hey, guys, thank you so much for being on tonight. I love you guys. Merci beaucoup, Astrid. Merci beaucoup, Carla. Merci, Janine. Thank you for being such a great sport. Also, Carla, sharing your chart with your audience members, letting them know how absolutely cool these composite and Synastry charts are, and how it can help them also in their relationships and even future relationships moving forward. So again, one last time, guys, please do go check out the consultation page, and don't forget the coupon code for these two products is Valentine 15. that'll give you 15% off either the Synastry chart or the composite chart with the lovely Astrid. And of course, if you want to book just a normal astrology reading with Astrid, you could do that as well. And for that, the coupon code is Beyond Mystic to get 10% off. Your schedule is already quite busy, Astrid, since you've launched on the show. Will you be adding a little bit more dates here for people maybe who want to get in with these readings a little bit sooner? What does that look like on the calendar right now?
Well, actually, I've opened up a few extra spots, but I also announced it during the weekly astro forecast. So a few of them are already taken. So I think there are 3 left right now in February. So people might need to hurry. Otherwise, they're going to have to wait a little bit.
Okay. Well, check it out, guys, at beyondmystic.net. In the meantime, please hit that like button on your way out and leave us a comment on the show. I love you guys. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.